Yeah, I want you to take a look at this table that I'm going to put up now. Look at them. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to look at them. Okay, let's talk about them now. The first is the Super Eagles. In 1994, they gave their best shot at the World Cup. It has been one of the Africans' best. Bar Senegal in 2002, Cameroon in 1990, Morocco 2026 and 2022. And then Ghana in 2010. Those are one of its kind where African has shown like light. The Super Eagles will also be high here because they got as far as 6th in terms of world ranking after that display. And guess what? 3-time African champions. We are missing 2 World Cups in a row. As if that is not enough for us. The Olympic Eagles, because the Olympic Eagles feeds the Super Eagles with players. Obviously, from there you mature into the Super Eagles that they've not qualified 2 Olympics in a row. And it's just been a downward trend. The pride of Africa, the pride of Nigeria, the under-17, 5 under-17 FIFA World Cup, has not been to 3 consecutive FIFA World Cups now. 2023, 2025, and 2026. The 3rd one will be held this year in Qatar. Sad. Now, the Confederation of African Football gave players who ply their trade in Africa a chance, because most times when you come to the AFCON, the African Cup of Nations, most players who ply their trade in Africa don't get invited. The European players just dominate everywhere, take the center stage. So, okay, an idea came up. Let's set up a parallel African Cup of Nations that is independent of foreign players. That we always have to deal with players who ply their trade in their country on the African continent. So every player who plays in the CHAN must be a Nigerian player who plies his trade in the Nigerian professional. Same with Ghana. And guess what? We are knocked out 4-0 by Sudan, a war-torn country. As of today, as of the day they knocked the Super Eagles, Sudan, they are still fighting a war. The Flying Eagles, 7-time African Championship. I remember 2005 group. They made us proud. Flying Eagle, wonderful team. Should we talk about Saudi 89, the miracle of the man? The team that from 4-0 down won the game against USSR and lost to Rui Costa and Joao Pinto and the rest, Portugal, in the final. Wonderful team. Chris Ohehe and the rest, Ndoko Ogbede. And in fact, the one that pains a lot of Nigerians is the Super Falcons, who everybody were projecting to win their 11th African Cup of Nations Women edition. Guess what? They lost their first game woefully in a shambolic display, very jaded display against Malawi. It was shameful. The second game, let's talk about the qualifiers before we even get to it. Okay, they beat Benin Republic 2-0 in Cotonou. Everybody thought, okay, when you come back to Nigeria, in Abeokuta, they struggled to equalize against Benin, and they came to the AFCON, lost to Malawi, struggled against Zambia, beat Egypt, high score margin. Okay, one would have thought that, okay, at that time, the confidence is back. And we met Cameroon. This Cameroon team, it might not be the same Cameroon, but AFCON, is it 2004, if I can remember, Perpetual Nkocha scored hat-trick of 4 goals in that game. We beat them 5-0 in the final of an AFCON. And we lost to them. As if that's not enough. Just like the Super Eagles were given pathway to qualify to the World Cup in 2026 through the international playoffs, and they were knocked out by Congo. We engaged South Africa and lost out that game. So it's been a sequence of problems. It's been a sequence of issues here and there. And the question is, why? Someone needs to give us answers. Because I can see it's not really trending. That's why I've been listening to see people talk about this, but it's not really trending. So I had to lend my voice on it, because if we keep quiet to this issue or we just move on like that. Those who are responsible to fix this, whatever mess it is that has been going on with Nigerian football, will feel that they are doing a good job. We don't want, there's what we call tumbom, trial and error. Gone are those days. We need concrete, solid plan ahead. We need to start asking questions. We need to start asking these people, what is the problem? How can this happen within a short period of time? Is this a fall from grace to grass, or what? We need answers. Someone need to tell us, especially at the NFF level. Yeah, election is around the corner or whatever. They say that the election is won. But who are those coming into office? We need to start questioning what do they bring to the table? It shouldn't just be all about collecting FIFA money, trying to manage to qualify for the World Cup. We should also be giving targets beyond qualifying for the World Cup. We should also be thinking of how do we develop talents. We can't be relying on, because there are too many Nigerian players with Nigerian descent. We now dump our developmental program and just start jumping on that trend. No, I don't have a problem with getting a good player of diasporan descent. What I want to know is, what are the developmental program? We need answers.